Want my water? Give you time, guys. Chance to fill back in. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Looks like it was a Streamlabs issue. I'll let you guys come on back. Come on back. I just don't understand. Oh, it's not letting me. Another minute for a few more people to pop in. Then we'll continue with Recore. Actually, I'll just go ahead and finish talking about Recore. But yeah, Recore is a really solid game. Gets a bum rap, I think. It's not, reinventing the gaming wheel or anything, but it's a solid game. Okay visuals. People complain about the graphics and whatnot. I think they're fine. But it's a good game. So, you should definitely pick that up. If you like, puzzle platformers or action shooting games, it's definitely good for that. All right, moving on to a game that I believe is getting a re-release. I don't know if they included Switch or not in this, but it is Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning. There's a very terrible story behind the making of this game, involving a Red Sox former great pitcher, and he was behind pushing this game to be created. He was a driving force. I don't like the guy at all, so I'm not even going to say his name. But anyway, this is a great game. Unfortunately, it came from that terrible background, but Kingdoms of Amalur is a very good fantasy adventure RPG. So, highly recommend it. And like I said, I think it's coming out, re-releasing, or getting like a definitive edition or like a, definitive edition for newer consoles. But I don't know if Switch was mentioned in that. Could be. I don't remember. But EA is the publisher, so yeah. EA. Mech. Here's a game that surprised me, the heck out of me. Look, it's moving around in there. Alright. And that is Titanfall 2. One of the best campaigns I've played in a game of this nature. Really good campaign in this game. I didn't touch Titanfall 1 because it was a online only shooter for $60, and I'm like, nope. But this game has a really good single player that I enjoyed all the way through. I remember developers or something, one of the developers laughing when asked if this game could if they could bring this game to Switch, and he kind of laughed about it. Who's laughing now? This game sold super poor, unfortunately, because it is a really good game, but maybe it's karma, I don't know. But very good. I highly recommend this game if you haven't played it, and you like shooters, first-person shooters with mechs and stuff like that. Very good game. I'm gonna play it again very soon here because I enjoyed it. But yeah, Titanfall 2. And we got, what's the game called? coming to Apex is coming to Switch. So if Apex can come to Switch, I think Titanfall 2 would work. Remember all that stupid stuff back in those days where people were talking about, you can't, it doesn't have enough buttons. The Switch doesn't have enough buttons, so games can't come to it. And they were pretending, oh crap, I just turned my Switch on. They were pretending like they had to make a game that only worked, with one Joy-Con, which you didn't. That's just so stupid. Because every system comes with one controller, and the full controller for the Switch was both Joy-Cons and the grip, or Pro Controller. So it has every button. It's just people were making all these BS excuses because they were expecting the Switch not to do well, so they were making their typical Nintendo excuses, and it was really annoying. And I was just sitting back like, this is not going to be a Wii U situation with the Switch. I was one of the earliest voices on that, telling people the Switch was going to be a success, a huge success. And I was still one of the first who said that it will beat the Wii in sales. This will edge out the Wii. I don't know how much more. I'm thinking at least 110 million. And that is awesome. So I didn't have to wait until it really started picking up and going crazy sales like earlier this year or late last year when some people were jumping on my bandwagon as far as beating the Wii in sales. But I think it's funny. Oh yeah, by the way, there's another pickup. I think I showed these before. It's hard to see with that freaking light. I'm trying to get closer there. But you can see this Mario and Luigi thumb stick grips. So pretty cool. And I also have Pokemon ones. So I guess you can throw that in my pickups as well. Let's see. Thank you guys for coming back, by the way. I don't know what was going on my stream. But Tony says, had to leave and come back. Would you consider buying repro games or overpriced or rare games? Curious of your opinion. Yeah, I don't have a problem buying repro games. I would, in a heartbeat, buy Panzer Dragoon Saga repro. And there's ways to do that. But another thing is coming out is a system called, oh my God, the Polymega. And I won't have to buy a repro when the Polymega comes out. Because the cool thing about the Polymega, it plays Sega Saturn games. You can download directly to the system and play them off there. And it also will patch games. You can buy fan-made patches, or not buy them, but you can download free fan-made patches to games like Panzer Dragoon Saga and get the English, what do you call it? The English patch, the English text put into your Japanese version of the game. So I can play my Japanese version of Panzer Dragoon Saga and then get the English patch for it. So I won't have to buy the English version. I'll be just fine with my Japanese version. Same goes for some of the other Japanese games I have. So that's why I'm anticipating the Polymega. That's one of the reasons. It's so cool of a console because you can play these disc-based games all in one system. I think you can play Sega Genesis, Sega CD, Sega Saturn. These are the ones that are out of the box. I don't know if Dreamcast is out of the box, and PS1 right there. Like I said, you can either play off a hard drive, you can download your ROM from your game disc, or you can play it off the disc if you want. And so that's why I may never even pull the trigger on getting some of the more expensive games, because I'm like, well, I'll just play my Japanese copy and download the English patch for it, and I can play it that way. Cool thing about today, technology and the way it's evolved and emulation and all that stuff, is that, and you have this console coming out, the Polymega, and it's gonna have attachments to it, so you can play cartridge-based systems as well, and maybe other CD-based systems that it doesn't currently play out of the box. So, looking forward to the Polymega. Completely forgot that I'm going to be making that purchase as well, like $300. So, I have no problem buying repros in certain cases. Been considering getting a repro of Castlevania LOD on 64. Is it that expensive, the Castlevania games? Because I haven't looked in a long time. But if they are, I guess, yeah. There's no problem with getting. I don't think there's any problem. N64 games. I buy a repro. They work fine. I have a couple. I have a repro of Sin and Punishment and a repro of Ogre Battle, because those games are too expensive. I'm like, I don't care, as long as I can play the game, I'm cool, and I can understand it. So, let's see. These fools on eBay are gonna sit on them forever. This is stitched. LOL. This is Visor Grunt. Yeah, I'm betting that guy wishes he could get a piece of that 50 million Switch pie about now. Exactly. Yeah. Who's laughing now? Like I said, he wishes that they put the game on Switch, and it can go on Switch. Obviously, it would be a lesser version or whatnot, but Apex Legends, same engine. It's scalable enough, and I think it would look actually really good on Switch. So, but too bad, EA. It's EA also, so they're on that BS when it comes to Switch. Even though it's 60 million probably right now. I even seen Brie Larson dorking away about her custom Switch. Oh yeah, I think I haven't really looked at it, but Juice shared that in our Hangouts chat. So he was talking about that and how she likes Super Mario 3D World. So that's cool. She kind of went up a couple notches when I heard that. Let's see. You can use your Japanese games and use English patch. Yep. Yeah, on the Polymega. Yeah, you can do that on the. You can do that on the Saturn too. It's just a little bit more of a process. But I was going to, but then I heard about the Polymega, and I was like, oh, that's great, because then that gives me a better option for capture as well, so I can capture my games in a more crisper, HD, because it outputs in HD, HDMI. So, Visor Grunt. Nintendo themselves would make so much money if they started reproduction carts complete Sega hardware. Yeah, I mean, Nintendo could make a lot of money if they did a lot of things that they don't do. But yeah, they could totally. Why let somebody else make that money? Why not make that money yourselves? And maybe undercut some of these guys, because Nintendo doesn't need the money as much. Make a small profit off it. Let's say $10. Try to make $10 off each cart. Sell it all. Your website. So you don't have to have a retail space. You can sell it directly from your website and ship it out by order. So that way you don't have a bunch of stock sitting there. And if these guys can do it, you certainly can do it. And it would be from Nintendo, so it would be an authentic cart from Nintendo. And a lot of these, guys who sell these exorbitant prices, some of these repros, they would be crapping their pants, because Nintendo would take all their business if they did that, and they make a lot of money. There's a lot of money in that market. Nintendo themselves would make so much money if they started. Hard boxes. Yeah, that too. Yeah. Tony says, I wasn't sure you were aware of that Polymega, but I should have known better. Yeah, I know what that Polymega. I've been on that thing for quite some time. Because obviously I'm a retro dude. Polymega. I'm subscribed to their channel, so every time they put anything up, I'm right on it and I'm on up to date, and the newsletter, I believe, I'm on that too. So, Stitch Legacy of Darkness is usually 100. What? Legacy of Darkness? That's the, it's not really. I mean, it's kind of a sequel to Castlevania 64, but it's like a better version of the original in a way. But it's $100. Wow. See, I have to look. Where's my phone? Oh, I'll look at it later. But I have this cool app where Game Eye, I think it's called, so you can store all your collection in there, and you can actually scan them, and it makes it really easy to add your stuff to this thing. And it tells you what the games are worth, what the market value is, and that's surprising. Legacy of Darkness is $100+ now. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I bought that game not day one, but new, and it was marked down at that point. It was $30 maybe. That's wow. I mean, there's not a ton of N64 games, so to begin with, like at least different games. I think there's 300. I own a third of the N64 library, more than a third. But yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know it was that much. Wow, these games are going up, man, up and up and up. All right. But, Nintendo could be making money off this stuff and not somebody else. Alright, so here's my only two PS4 contributions. This is Dreams. And I'll tell you right now, I don't care for the game creation aspect of this. What I'm super interested in, and which I do more of doing as far as this game goes, is short animated films. That's why I love this game. And some people have done some amazing stuff on here. And that's what I want to do. I want to do some animated shorts, do some cool stuff, and really get into it. I just got this game not too long ago, so I haven't really dug into it. I've been mostly watching stuff. But I'm talking about, it's some, people get excited about the games or what's recreated. I don't care about that. I think that's kind of lame and boring. Unless you're making something completely original that's cool in this. But I know people are getting work from this. People are snatching up people who make really cool stuff. Companies are snatching them up. But what I want to do some really cool animated shorts, and that's what I'm going to do. And I've seen some really good Disney level stuff. Not as much visually, because there's only so much, visual fidelity you can get out of this game. But I mean, just like story and pacing and just editing. All in game, all in engine, very cool. So if you're into this kind of stuff, I highly recommend this. Even if you just want to play other people's stuff or just watch other people's content, just for fun, I highly recommend it. So, yeah, Dreams. And this is probably my favorite game on the PS4. Horizon Zero Dawn. This is the complete edition, which comes with the Frozen Wilds DLC, which I really enjoyed. I was really surprised how much I enjoyed Frozen Wilds. Because by the time I got to Frozen Wilds, I was really high leveled because I played the crap out of this game. It took me a while to get into it, but once I got into it, I was really playing it a lot. And the Frozen Wilds DLC is pretty phenomenal. Some of the best DLC I've played in a game. So, it's challenging too. So I was running around just pretty much whooping up on everything. And I got to the Frozen Wilds and I got knocked down a peg. And it was enjoyable. It was fun. And you get some new enemies to fight, and they're really tough. And it's great. It's great. Looking forward to Horizon 2. Where they're going to go with the story, I don't really know. I hope it's not, because if you play the game, you get a nice kind of finish, and I'm just wondering what they're going to do to the story to make it interesting again. So, all right. I screwed up too far there. It's Legacy of Darkness is usually 100 plus. Visor Grunt says it's not that hard to be better than Castlevania 64. True that. I wonder what that one goes for. I'm seeing $85 loose for Legacy of Darkness and over 200 complete. That price might be outdated. I hope so. Jeez, I'm getting a notification on my phone here. New move record. You set a personal best record for moves today. Oh, great. So I had a very active day today, which is good. Bruce Kent. What's up, Bruce? Says I got to rewind this. Dreams is on my to buy list. Yeah, it sat on mine for a while, and then I finally pulled the trigger, and I'm very happy. Like I said, I got it for a very specific reason, and it was always to do just movie stuff, to do animated short films, stuff like that with, and that's why I'm gonna use it, and I'm gonna use it for work purposes as well. I wish that it didn't have that little burned Dreams. What do they call that? Little logo that's burned into all your work. But I mean, I know why they do it, because they want people to know that it was made in Dreams. That's what it says in the little thing, made in Dreams. So yeah. I'm not trying to drop nearly 100 on an N64 game right now. Yeah, I wouldn't do it either. Like I said, I'm not a collector to the extent where, I want to get those rare games or anything like that. Sometimes I will want to do that, but I'm not always looking for that. I also want games I want to play, and Legacy of Darkness was a good fix to Castlevania 64. It's not great, still not great, but if you want to play it, if that's all you care about, not about having the authentic copy, I wouldn't spend $100 for it. I don't think it's worth that. The most I would spend used on that game is $35, $40 again. Like, that's like the most, and to me that's still, like, I don't like paying that much. And I don't regularly buy old games or retro games for my consoles. I bought a lot of it like 10 years back and before, but I haven't bought a whole bunch. Every once in a while there's something in my to buy list, and that I'll get, but I don't like actively seek to buy stuff for my collection, unless it's something I've been looking for years and waiting for, being patient for. So, all right, that's it for the newer systems. I think we'll move on to the Wii in the house. Hidden Gem, beautiful game. House of the Dead, Overkill. This is a great, I guess you call it a light gun shooter, but it's not really a light gun on the Wii. It's the point and controls and whatnot, but that's what the Wii was great for doing, was bring about, yes, watermark, thank you, Tony. You guys always save me when I can't remember a word. Watermark, yeah. This is a great game. House of the Dead, Overkill. This is very cool. This is very, like, Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez-esque, like, story-wise and visual style. And not a lot of people talk about this game. I wouldn't be surprised if this game was pricey. I don't think it is, but this is one of those games that's kind of a hidden gem that people passed over on the Wii for whatever reasons. And I've noticed some of the games that I bought for $20 or whatever back in the day that are over $100 now. This could be one, I don't know, but House of the Dead Overkill is dope. If you like I said, if you like light gun shooter games, this is one of the best and not often talked about. No More Heroes, you guys know what this is. This is the Travis Touchdown awesome series on the Wii, and I believe did they port the first one to PS3 or something like that, or was it this one? I never can remember that. I don't really care, but I played it on Wii. And we're getting No More Heroes 3 this year. I still can't believe that. Thank you, Suda51 and Nintendo for that. I'll be happy to add that to my collection and play that, just to play the game, not to add it to my collection, but to play it. I love this series to death. I love Travis Touchdown. Great series. Here's another game that is excellent on the Wii. Often forgotten. Nobody cared when it came out. It could be expensive, but I doubt it. I don't know. And it's Zack and Wiki. The Quest for Barbaros. I think that's the subtitle. Quest for Barbaros Treasure. This game is one of those games that, that's why the Wii Remote is a thing. This game uses the Wii Remote so well. So well. And Capcom, I don't know if they are the developers or just the... they might be. Great game. Like I said, it uses the Wii Remote beautifully. This is one of those games that's like, that's why the Wii Remote exists. They just went all out on this, and I love it to death. So Zack and Wiki is a super hidden gem, and you guys should definitely get it. Morpheus, yes, I did accept your friend request. I actually sent you a message saying that I couldn't do it Tuesday, maybe Friday. So just to let you know. Jonathan Reed said Zack and Wiki is a great puzzle game. Yes, it is. Let's see. Grindhouse style. Yes, Grindhouse style. Visor Grunt says about House of the Dead. I mean, it's totally a ripoff of Grindhouse, which is great. It's fine. It's great. So it's a great game. Okay, thanks, bro. Says Morpheus. Yeah. So Friday I should be free. So tomorrow. Let's see. Tony says I'm seeing 19 loose and 50 complete for Castlevania 64. Again, not sure how accurate those are. Yeah, Castlevania 64, that might be right. 19 loose, but the Castlevania 64 Legacy of Darkness is the updated version with some new stuff, and that is a little bit more rare, so I could see why, thinking now, I could see why it's more expensive, because it came out after, people complained about it. So it's basically like a patch to some extent with some DLC. So, but it makes the game a lot better. So that's probably why that version, and the fact that it was a little bit more rare. All right, more Wii. We have the Core Gang. Now, this doesn't say only for Wii, so maybe it's on another system or two. Might be a PS3 game as well. But by the time we got to Wii, people stopped checking for mascotish platformers or puzzle platformers or action adventure mascot-like games. And this is one of the best. Now, I can't remember what else Zoink did recently, for whatever reasons, but they make really cool mascotish type of cartoony type games, and they made one recently. I can't think of the name of it, or at least in the last couple of years. And this is a really good, action adventure game, platformer, for the Wii, and probably really overlooked. I don't know how well or unwell it's sold, but it's really cool. Core Gang. All right, we'll probably jump back to Wii. Yeah, or should I just? I'll just pull those out. We'll do those now. All right, now here is what I was talking about. Well, actually, let's do Dead Space first. Dead Space Extraction is another really good light gun shooter based on the Dead Space series. It's not like a core typical Dead Space game. It's on rails. Not really on rails, because I think you control your pacing. If I'm not mistaken, I played so many games like this, I'm not sure. But let me look at the back, see if it helps. Yeah, it's not. It's on rails. I believe it's on rails, but it's not like quickly on rails. It's kind of, you get to explore it a little bit, but really good. Oft forgotten, not talked about shooter. And like I said, it's a first person perspective. It's, a light gun type of shooter, so really good. And here's a game. Is it dusty? Not really. All right, that is really good. This is kind of survival horror-ish in a way. It's kind of alone in the dark-ish kind of way. More anime style. Fragile Dreams. Really cool story and gameplay mechanics. Again, it uses the Wii remote pretty well. You use it as a flashlight partially, and it's really cool. And here's a game that people overlooked, and it will run you $100+ I believe now. I had no idea that it went up in price that much. I didn't think it was that type of game that would do that, but you never know. You just never know what games will do that. And Fragile Dreams is a great one. All right, now we'll move. No, I got a couple more here, and I'm all over the place. So, you guys know I'm a Knights fan, and I was very happy to have Knights Journey into Dreams. What is this one called? Yeah, Journey of Dreams. For the Wii, this is a sequel to the Saturn game, the only other Knights game out there, and not great, not as good, because it was a little bit more disjointed, because they tried to do some more open area stuff, which was fine, but the game, visually very nice. Again, nice soundtrack. Not as good as the first one, but I really like this one, and this might be pricey too. I don't know. I don't think it's sold all that great, and not a lot of people know about it or talk about it. So let's see. Tony says, I've been looking for Zack and Wiki for ages. Can't find it complete in the wild. Really? Wow. Bruce Kent, I'm old, so I don't know if this is proper edict. I must have missed something up here. No, I didn't miss anything. But can we share Switch codes? This is the only way for me to ask you, but still watching. I feel like maybe I might have taken it down, but yeah, I'll take yours right now, Bruce. Actually, let me take your whole name. I'll copy and paste you. That way I'll know. Remember who sent it. Make a little note here. New text document and paste. Oh, it won't let me do it out there. Okay, that's fine. What's it doing? Okay. 1 second here. Opening a text document, that way I keep your... Here we go. They're not pasting. Alright, there we go. Gotcha. You can follow T on Twitter, then friend him from Switch. Yeah, I don't know all the different ways, so I guess that's the way too. But yeah, if you have your Switch and Twitter connected, I do, and so Bruce, you can do it that way if you have your Switch and Twitter connected. So, all right, cool. All right, so here's a couple other games. This one's pretty rare, I think. Mercury Meltdown. This is a really cool puzzle game using the Wii remote. Again, it's kind of like Super Monkey Ball or something. So you control this ball of Mercury that way, and you have to split it up to solve different puzzles to get through obstacles and stuff. Pretty good. This is a budget title, most likely. I can't remember. I'm sure I paid like $12 or something for it, but I don't know if it's rare or not. Cheap now. If you like that kind of game, this is a really good one. Tatsunoko versus Capcom. Really good, solid 2D fighter. Great, beautiful visuals and animation and all that stuff. Some obscure Japanese characters from manga and different anime and stuff that square off against your typical Capcom characters, your Street Fighter characters. So, very cool, dope game. I am in the market for, because I never got the arcade stick that was made for this. I think Rob has one. Rob Rule 2, and I'm jealous. So I'm looking out for that for sure. All right, now we're moving on to Wiiu, the Wii U. Here's a game that I still have sealed because I bought it digitally, and it is Giana Sisters Twisted Dreams Director's Cut. So I have this digitally, and then I saw it physically, and I was like, this is back when I was contemplating collecting for Wii U, getting every North American game there was. Then I decided to not do that because there was some garbage I didn't want to spend money on. But yeah, I don't know if this is collectible or not, but it's really good platforming game. If you know the history of Giana Sisters, it's pretty funny. They basically got sued back in the day for copying. I'm talking the 80s. That's how far back this game goes. The 80s. I think it was for the Commodore, and they straight up copied Super Mario Brothers and made Giana Sisters. Or was it Super Giana Sisters? It was something. And they got sued by Nintendo. Nintendo won. But now you have a Giana Sisters game on a Nintendo console. It's crazy how history goes, But this is really cool. Nice switch mechanic on that. Everybody knows this game by now. Lego City Undercover. This is definitive edition to get. Kinda, because it's cool that the newer versions have split screen co-op. That is very cool. But for the single player, as far as that goes, using the gamepad in this game is amazing. I love it to death. This is one of the best uses of the gamepad you'll find on the Wii U. And that's kind of the theme of these next games I'm showing. So if you want cool gamepad usage, Lego City Undercover for Wii U. Again, I don't know. This might have gone up in price. I don't know. All right. And this is probably, I'd say, the best use of the gamepad on the system. Another third-party game, and that was probably one of the problems with Wii U, is that the best use of the gamepad wasn't even made by Nintendo games. It was third-party games. And that's Deus Ex, Human Revolution Director's Cut. This is just a great game, Very dope cyberpunk series from forever, It started on PC. And this is probably the best in the series. And this is, like I said, really awesome gamepad usage. Now, some of the best stuff about the gamepad usage on this is gone because of Miiverse. There was some really cool Miiverse integration using the gamepad, and how you could leave messages for your friends and stuff, leave clues and whatnot, video clues, audio clues. Very cool usage of the gamepad and Miiverse, and just a really good game. So again, this might be collectible too. I don't know. This might be going up in price, this version specifically, but it is great and worth it. Here's another game that uses the gamepad beautifully. Splinter Cell Blacklist, a game that didn't sell well on anything, not just the Wii U, but on any console for some reason. Well, not for some reason. This is the one that they changed Sam Fisher, I believe. Did they change? It probably won't say on here. The voice actor, Michael Ironside, who had done it forever. I think they changed him or something. Something's different about this game that some fans didn't like. But I think the game is great. And I wish this was the last Splinter Cell game, if I'm not mistaken. And that's, it did so poorly that they decided, nope, we're not even going to make another Splinter Cell game after this. So if you're wondering why we haven't had a Splinter Cell game in a long time, it's because this one didn't do well. I think they lost a pretty good amount of money on this, but this is a dope Splinter Cell game. Loved it. And another great gamepad usage is this launch title here, Zombie U. It's got mixed reviews, which I kind of understand because some people may not like the mechanic of losing your stuff and then having to go find the person you were and grab the bag so you can get all your stuff back after they've become a zombie. So, I mean, I think to me, that's a really cool mechanic and really good gamepad usage in this game. But I was really interested in the game that was supposed to be, which is Killer Freaks from Outer Space. I wish Ubisoft would have still made that game as well. But Zombie U is dope. So, all right. Now we'll move on to... Really? Why did I throw Yokai Watch in there? Yokai Watch is cool. I don't know why it's in here, but moving on to 3DS, by the way. This is a fun game. I have 1 and 2. Cool series. Let's see. But that's not one of the games I must have ended up in there by mistake. Everybody knows what Yokai Watch is. So now this game is painful because I love this game to death, and like only me and Nia, the video game bought it. We're the only ones that bought it or care about this game. We're the only ones I see ever talk about this game. But Codename Steam is dope. This is a really good game, and nobody cared. And I think it had to do with the fact that it came out around the time Majora's Mask 3D came out, and so people were not checking for this game at all. They came out really close in proximity as far as launch. But I remember going to PAX East, was it 2015? And talking to, what's that kid's name? I can't remember his name, from Nintendo. Turns out, because I did a whole video on it, he was in a contest. This is before he was a Nintendo employee. He was in a contest way back in 2000 on G4. It was on G4. It wasn't a G4 contest, but they were showing it, and he won something. He won a GameCube. And here I am running into this dude 15 years later, and he's employed by Nintendo, and he's like a spokesperson. I talked to him. I interviewed him. There's a video of me interviewing this kid. He's a grown man now. I think he's a little younger than me. But I interviewed him, talked about this game, Codename Steam, because nobody cared. I felt like the booth wasn't even that packed, and I had no problem just doing an interview with him. So, this is years ago. Like I said, this is one of my PAX East videos. So if you want to check it out, but this is a great game. It's how to explain it. It is a tactical kind of turn-based strategy game in 3D. It's kind of grid-based. Kind of like what's the game that everybody talks about that Rabbids, what is it? Rabbids, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle kind of apes off of. What's the name of that game? Anyway, it's that type of game, and it's just like a really cool alternate universe story with these characters, historical characters like Abraham Lincoln and stuff. They have this, this secret kind of faction agency that hunts aliens and stuff. Very cool story, very cool visuals. So I always big up this game when I can. It's great. Like I said, I've only heard 2 people talk about this game, me and Nia, the video game her. Shout out to her. We both love this game, and you should too. Let's see what you guys are saying. Let's see. If you have your Switch, okay, read that already. Morpheus T, just curious to know if you're into any particular sport. Yeah, I played. I ran track in middle school, and I played football in high school, and I played basketball. So those are my sports, for the most part. I used to play soccer when I was a kid. I was younger, like grade school, but that didn't keep my interest as long. But yeah, basketball, football. These days I play more basketball than football, but I played wide receiver, believe it or not, my short behind in high school, just for a year for a freshman team. So, so yeah, that's. Hope that answers it for you there, Morpheus. I have Deus Ex for the Wii U also digital, says Morpheus. Visored, yeah, that Splinter Cell game is great. Talking about Blacklist. Morpheus, I have Zombie U, but never got around to playing it. You should play it, man. It's dope. Let's see, Visored, LOL, I have Deus Ex, Splinter Cell, and Zombie U. Yeah, I mean, these are great games. So if you have a Wii U, and we didn't get a ton of third-party stuff, a lot of us probably have a lot of the same games. So no surprise there that you would have those 3 games as well. I hope they are all worth something someday. They probably will be. I mean, the Wii U hasn't hit Dreamcast yet as far as timing-wise, where it's, oh, yeah, you know, even though it didn't sell well, that Wii U was great. I mean, we all think it's great. But, I mean, like, it hasn't hit the masses where it's like, oh, yeah, there's that console that not a lot of people bought, but there's a lot of great games on it. It'll hit that within the next couple of years, I'm sure. Let's see. I can never get into games like that, says Bruce. I'm not sure which. Oh, I guess he's talking about Deus Ex, Splinter Cell, and Zombie U. Stitch, grabbed Codename Steam for $5 at Family Dollar. Yeah, Codename Steam was like nothing for a long time. I don't know if it still is, but it was very cheap. I saw it. I mean, I bought it full price day one because I was checking for it, but it's a great game. And it's just sad that it didn't do well. It didn't sell well. I just think, again, it was timing. And I think a game like Codename Steam would be phenomenal on Switch. I think they should give it another shot. HD port it over. It'll be like a new game for a lot of people because nobody bought it. So, let's see. How would I go about viewing the interview you did with creator of that game? YouTube is so weird now, Morpheus. I would just maybe put in, Mizzy PAX East, and you'll find my PAX East videos, and you'll be able to find it. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I'm going to try it right now. It probably will come up easier for me because it's my channel, so maybe it won't pop up as easy for you. But let's see if that works. Mizzy, hard to type one hand. T PAX East. Let's see. Yep, I'm seeing a bunch of my videos here. Yep, I see it. It's like the 7th video down for me. I'll show you exactly. I'll copy the title of it for you, so you can put it in your search engine. Or can I just copy the video, the link? Duh. What am I doing? Copy the title. Now I feel old. Alright, so I'll just copy the link. And I'll put it in the chat here. Why is it not showing paste? There. Alright. There you go. Oh wait, did it show up? Oh no, what the heck am I doing? There we go. Alright. There it is. So if you want to see that Paxi's video, I forgot the kid's name. Actually I'm gonna look right now, see if I can. Corey. His name's Corey. And I actually did a video called something like, did Nintendo cheat for this contest or something? Because like I said, Corey ended up winning the contest for a GameCube, I think it was, in 2001. And now he's a Nintendo rep. I don't know if he still is, but back in 2015 he was. So I just thought that was really cool. Yeah. So, yeah, that's my Codename Steam video from back then. I miss going to PAX. That was my last PAX, I think. Maybe 2016. But that's because I was living close. I lived close to Boston then. Now I'm in Florida. But I wouldn't mind. I'd go up again. Hopefully maybe next year. This pandemic is gone. Or at least we have a... what do you call it? Why do I go blank? What is it called? Yeah. It's not called a cure. It's called a vaccine. We have a vaccine by then. Totally. All right. Another hidden gem 3DS game that nobody talks about, but it is great. Great. And that is Heroes of Ruin from Square Enix. And this is a Diablo-style game, dungeon crawler, and it is great. And one of the best things about this game, again, Nintendo with their disjointed, crazy ways, this game had awesome online voice chat for your teammates. So you go through and you be able to voice chat on your 3DS in this game, no problem. It was really good. And I remember the first time I got on, it was some really cool people I was playing with, and they had been playing for a while, and they basically showed me how to play this game and really get into it that way. And that was really cool. And I'm pretty sure it's still online voice chat right now. Let's see. You had all the cool stuff. You had local play, you had internet co-op, Street Pass, which I miss because I don't know why Switch doesn't have Street Pass, and Spot Pass. So this game was dope, or is dope. And I think you can still play it. Get it now. Get in and have fun with somebody. Maybe we'll play together online. It's dope. I saw the video, T. I didn't hear you talk or see your face during the entire video. Oh, yeah. So I asked questions off screen, and that's just the way I edited it. So I just, I asked questions and then I cut to his answers. So that's the way I did that video. I did a lot of videos like that back then. Because to me it's boring. I didn't want to sit there and ask questions on the video itself. I wanted the video to move. So just get you the information. So I just would give you his answers. That's how I did it. But obviously it's me because it's my channel. So I'm the one who shot it and edited it and did the questions. Alright. Here's another great 3DS game, Kid Icarus Uprising. Another game that needs a sequel and or a what do you call it, port to Switch. But you know, I'd rather have a sequel. But a lot of people probably missed out on this game because this is the early 3DS game, and it is great. And I was I was, for some crazy reason, thinking that Nintendo cared about their old IPs and was going to bring Icarus back to the forefront. No, this is it. This is it for a long time. This is the first game after 20 some odd years, I think. And then now we're approaching 10 years since this game came out. So, Nintendo and their silly, crazy ways. All right, moving on to the regular DS. This is one of the games that sold me early on for the DS, Trauma Center Under the Knife. It's one of those games that utilizes the DS's features really well. And I love this game. I love this series. I have the other Trauma Center games on Wii. I don't know why Nintendo gave up on this series. But, you know, Nintendo's being Nintendo. This would work really well on Switch as well. But no Trauma Center. What can I say? Great game. Here's a really awesome game. Contra 4. And I think this one is actually getting... Whoa. Good catch. I think this... Hope that wasn't too loud for you guys. Sorry. I think this is actually getting a little bit pricier as well. Especially trying to find it complete. Like so. But this is a great sequel. Contra game to the... what was the Super Nintendo one called? I keep wanting to say Legacy of War, but that was the PlayStation ones, which weren't great. But you know what I'm talking about. This is your typical 2D side-scroller Contra. The best Contra games are the 2D side-scroller ones. And this was made by WayForward, I believe. I'm looking on the back here to see if I can find... I don't think it says it. I don't know why, because it's Konami. They licensed it. And I don't see WayForward. But I'm pretty sure this is WayForward. And, you know, they make excellent 2D games. Obviously, the Shantae series, that's them. So, great game. And here's a series that I loved on DS. That is, can you see? Professor Layton. I'm a big Professor Layton fan. Again, I like games that utilize the hardware really well. And puzzle games were perfect for the DS and 3DS even. But this is one of the reasons that the DS sold so well, because we didn't have stuff like this yet up until this point, and it was just a perfect system to where you had your stylus in your hand and you would just do stuff on the touchscreen, puzzle stuff, and it was perfect for that. And so if you're into that kind of stuff, the DS was your console, and that's why it sold so well. No, not Super C. Super C is 2. The Super Nintendo one. You had Hard Corps was on Sega Genesis, and then... what is the Super Nintendo Contra called? I can't believe I can't think of it. I used to play the crap out of that game. But they didn't call it Contra 3. It's Alien Wars. Or was it? Maybe it was Contra 3 Alien Wars. I could be wrong. So maybe that's what it is. I know it's Alien Wars is the subtitle, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Tony, I just saw you put that up. But yeah, that Contra 4. So that was Contra, whatever the Alien Wars is Contra 3. And so Contra 4 was the sequel to that one, and not those behind the back or whatever isometric PlayStation ones that weren't very good. But Contra Hardcore, oh my god, I love Contra Hardcore. Love that game. The music, locked and loaded. It's great. It is a great game. I think it's on that Sega collection. I think so. Because it only came out for Sega Genesis. It's great. It's great. There is a game on Switch that I talked about. I can't think of the name of that. That is a spiritual successor to Contra, and it is great as well. Really good. Much better than that garbage Konami Contra game that they put out recently. If you know the name, let me know. But it is great. Morpheus says, T, your age is showing. Can't remember things like when you were young. Happens to me too. No, it's yeah, obviously I'm getting old, but it's when I get up on these lights, you know, it feels like they just fry my brain and I can't remember the simplest things. Now, outside of this, I can talk about this stuff all the time. But the minute I turn this camera on, get on these lights, my brain fries. But yeah, funny. All right, that's it. All right, moving on. So let's move on to arguably my favorite. It's close. I hope I don't drop this stuff. Handheld of all time. And I'm going to do a collection video on this. And, I have both of them. Alright. And that is a dusty screen, smudgy screen PSP. That's my silver one. And there is my white one. And I love the PSP. PSP allowed you to, if you bought the attachment that goes right there in that little black area there. Where is it? This is all right there. You plug UV, yeah, ultraviolet. You plug in AV cables and you can play on the TV. Now it would be kind of letterboxed in the center because it was it's like a 320 output. But it will allow you to play, just like the Switch does, allows you to play your games on the big TV screen. And, if you know anything about PSP, these games were trying to be on par with, like, PS2. They tried to put out console quality games. This is one of the first systems to really do that. They were some of them were close to PS2 visually, but obviously, like, the output, like I said, is only 320p or something like that, and so it wasn't doing what the Switch could do, and the games were very different. Some of them were. I mean, they were all different because they were really stripped down, like, say, like Madden or something. While it looked somewhat close to the PS2 Madden, I mean, you could tell that it wasn't as good. But like a lot of the features would be stripped out, and it would be a lot more bare bones. As to whereas something like, NBA 2K on Switch is the same on any other console. But it was the first system that was trying to do that, trying to give you that console quality on the go. So, got a few games here to represent. Siphon Filter, love these games. PS1, going back to PS1, PS2, and on PSP. Really cool. Espionage, not tactical, but action, semi-stealth. There's a lot of different gameplay types in this game. So, really cool series. I got Logan Shadow and Dark Mirror. A lot of there was certain PSPs that came with Dark Mirror. I believe it was Dark Mirror that came with. So you'll see a lot of these in the wild, and they're very cheap. Hidden Gem for sure. Hot Pursuit. This is like a crazy 80s action movie meets anime, where you're just like you're police and you're going along in vehicles and you're jumping onto other cars and taking them over, and it's all moving the whole time, and it's just like heart adrenaline pumping, crazy. There's 2 of these games. I think I have them both, but really fun action game. So yeah. Didn't even know I had this one here. Or I know I had this game. I mean, I didn't know I had it in my little group here. The Third Birthday. Strange name. I don't think this game sold very well. And it probably shouldn't have. Because I don't know if you can tell who that character is. But this is your girl from Parasite Eve. This is the sequel to Parasite Eve. And I don't know why they didn't just call this Parasite Eve 2. I think maybe this is a prequel. I can't remember the setting for this game. But the Third Birthday is like, who's going to buy a game called The Third Birthday? You know, like, it's just strange. And I think that the game didn't do well, and that's probably why, because of the name. Just weird. But this is Parasite Eve. So, very cool game. I don't know if it's rare or not. It could be. But, very cool. This is great. Sega Rally Revo. I believe this is on console as well. I think this is a Xbox original. So OG Xbox game. Maybe PS2 as well. But I know it's on OG Xbox because of the deal that Sega had with Xbox back then. Very good rally game, but this is more arcade. This isn't the more simulation. This is certainly very arcade, and it is great. Nice visuals on this version as well as the console version. But this version is really good looking, especially for a PSP game. Coated Arms. Coated Arms. Again, I think this game may have been pack-in for some PlayStation portables, but I think I have like 3 copies of this game because I have it loose as well. But this is like, I bought this game because I bought the PSP because I wanted to see if I can really get that on-the-go console experience for a handheld. And this is one of the games that was kind of really pushing that. This is a first-person shooter, and it's really good. A really good first-person shooter graphics-wise. It chugs a little bit here and there, frame rate-wise, but you know, you don't care as much on that little screen. But, you know, obviously the problem with an FPS game on a handheld, especially back then, was, you know, you need pretty much dual controls. It's hard to see. Maybe I should grab my silver one. It's a little bit easier to see. But, you know, you get the nub, you know, for your analog controls. But this handles it really well. Because, you know, I played FPS games on N64 as well, and I loved them. So this does a lot of that kind of stuff to compensate for not having a second analog stick, and it's really good. There's 2 Coated Arms games. I have them both. And here's 2 games that I've never opened. And it's not that they're overly collectible or anything. I just never got around to opening them. Because I do have... I have Hot Shot Golf Open T. Open T. I have that one, what do you call it? Loose as well. So I just never opened it. And I just never got around to playing tennis. I'm going to open this. I'm not keeping this sealed. I'm not one of those weirdos who have sealed copies of stuff. I will open this and I will play it. Because I haven't played the tennis game. Get a grip. So, but like I said, I have the loose copy of this, so that's why I haven't opened it. One of the reasons. But here's the sequel to that. And I love these Hot Shots games. Basically, because of Mario Golf got me into playing these kind of arcadey, more cartoony style golf games, and I like the Hot Shot series. So, but I never. Oh, I do. I think I have Hot Shots. Not Hot Shot. Yeah, I have. Like I said, I have Hot Shots loose as well. So that's why I never opened that. I never got around to opening it. All right, what do we got next? All right, so let's keep the golf thing going. All right, we're getting to the end here. PS2, Swing Away Golf. Like I just said, I like the more arcadey golf games. And if it wasn't for Mario Golf 64, I never got into any of these. So there you go. Swing away. And Hot Shots I also have on PS2. Another 360 game I forgot about that I had. Lost Odyssey. Lost Odyssey was like this joint venture between... Was it Square that made Lost Odyssey? It was Square, right? Oh, maybe not. Or maybe it was just some... Oh, it's Mistwalker. Basically, they were trying to break more into the Japanese market with more RPGs. So it was this. It was Infinite Undiscovery. So it was Infinite Undiscovery, Lost Odyssey, and Blue Dragon were 3 of the games that Microsoft kind of paid for to really break into the Japanese market. Didn't work. Japanese don't care about the Xbox, and it's probably never going to change. But they tried. They at least gave it the old college go. So let's see. Oh man, I have a PSP 2000 and PSP Go Pearl White that I use a white PS3 controller via Bluetooth. So it's Morpheus. I use a component cable with the PSP Go on my Sony Trinitron HD CRT. Nice. Parasite Eve itself is pretty obscure when compared to the other games in its genre. Yeah, I mean, that is true. But at least you would have that set of fans that would at least, be a jump off for, this third birthday game. At least they were like, oh yeah, that's Parasite Eve. I like that game. And maybe you would at least gotten those fans to buy it. So there is that. Sound quality is very good, says Bruce. Are you talking about mine or the PSP? Alright, so where are we? Alright. I got one PS3 game. Well, technically it's PS2. But Zone of the Enders. My favorite Hideo Kojima games. The Zone of the Enders 1 and 2. This is the HD collection from PS2. And these are my favorite. I'm not a big fan of Metal Gear like a lot of people are. But I really like Zone of the Ender games because I like my mech games. And these were really good. Done by Hideo. Or Hideo. Sorry. Back to the PSP. Ape Escape on the Loose. Love Ape Escape. This is a really good game. And very colorful and vibrant. Looks really nice on the PSP screen. So, you know what Ape Escape is, I'm sure. Twisted Metal, I'm sure you also know. This is Head On. I think this is the only one for PSP. But Twisted Metal games are all pretty fun. And that's the PSP one. Oh, my sound quality. Oh, thank you. The microphone. I mean, I turned the mic up. And it's like right here. Like right there. So. Alright. Midnight Club Dub Edition. This is Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition. And like I said, this is where you would see quote-unquote console quality games. Because obviously there was a console version of this game. But this is a bit watered down from that version. Not crazy watered down, visually and stuff like that. But this is where you sometimes get the overlap to like, oh man, this looks almost as good, especially on the little screen, as the PS2 version of the game. So, Midnight Club Dub Edition. I'm gonna Rockstar doesn't make these kind of games anymore, because these were pretty cool games. SOCOM. This is Fireteam Bravo. All the SOCOM games are pretty good, at least the ones I played. So I guess I'm kind of a fan of SOCOM because I have 3 SOCOM games. So they're really good. Kind of tactical shooters, third person. So pretty cool. Oh man, this is my series right here. I have the Switch version, or not Switch version, but the sequel, Pistol Junk Monsters 2. This is 1, and these are kind of tower defense strategy games. Love these games to death. I love this series. Like I said, I love Pixel Junk Monsters 2 on Switch as well. Love having that physical copy, and love this game on PSP. And here's a couple of games that are also on Switch. I think they're physical. I think they're maybe a little harder to find. And that's the new Lumines 1 and 2. These are really good puzzle games. Dope. Awesome music, especially. It's one of the favorite things about these games is the audio. And just really cool puzzlers. You should check them out if you like puzzle games. Alright. Let's get this over here. Let's get into our last group. Let's start with, we got two little stacks here. Gamecube, Battalion Wars. A lot of people don't really talk about Battalion Wars. They talk about Advance Wars on Game Boy Advance and wanting a sequel to that. But Battalion Wars started off as an Advance Wars type of game, but it evolved into a more real-time strategy game. And these are really fun. There's this one, and then there's the one on the Wii, Battalion Wars 2. And they're both really good games, and nobody talks about them. And Nintendo doesn't care to make them anymore. I mean, I don't know if they were big sellers. They probably weren't. But they can make them big sellers if they cared enough. But I love the art style, and these are just really fun games. All right. One of my favorite GameCube games of all time, Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. La 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 la. Love this game. Sonic Team. To me, this is the last great Sonic Team game. The last great idea from Sonic Team, as far as like gameplay and character design. Love Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. I believe this is starting to get expensive, so if you want to get this game, get it now in your collection. This is the only place. See, that's it. What does that say right there? Only for Nintendo GameCube. And I think it's on PC as well. But at the time this came out, it was only for GameCube. I don't know how you'd find it. I don't know if it's on Steam or not. I doubt it. But this did come out on PC. I remember seeing the physical copy of it on a shelf in like 2005 or something. But this is a great game. I love the visual, the art style, the character design. Billy Hatcher himself, the concept is great. Love this game to death. All right. Oh yeah. Again, another one of my favorites all-time games that I played on GameCube. It's on other systems as well. You can find this on Steam, I believe, the updated version. Play this game any way you can, because Beyond Good and Evil is greatness. This is, to me, one of the greatest games ever made. I think it launched around the time of Prince of Persia from Ubisoft, the same company, and they killed their own game in doing that. This game did not sell well, and so, that's why we've been having so much trouble getting the sequel, because they can't really justify it after the sales of this game. But they shot this game in the foot. This is a great game. Great game. If you're a Zelda fan especially, you'll love this game. The different types of gameplay mechanics in this game with the photo taking and like the bow staff wielding and the upgrading of your bow staff and your hovercrafting, all that stuff. It's great. This is a great game, a great world. That whole kind of, not really cyberpunk, but that kind of futuristic world where, a monolithic government takes over and you're trying to uncover things and trying to free people, basically from the tyrannical government. This is a great game, and you should own it no matter what you have. If you have a GameCube, obviously you should definitely have this. If you have a PS2, I think it's on OG Xbox as well, but it's also on Steam. I know it's on Steam. I've seen it. And you should definitely play it any way you can. I can't really vouch for the Steam version, but again, another great, forgotten, hidden gem. This game came out really late, 2005, I think, on GameCube, so a lot of people just weren't checking for it. And, people had moved on to 360, and they were getting ready for Wii, so they just missed this game. Again, another game with great gameplay concept. You play a ghost, and you're able to, possess different items as well as other people, and you have to do clever things to scare people first to be able to possess them. And it's just a great kind of puzzle, action, first-person shooter, horror game kind. It's like it melds so many genres, and it melds them really well. And it's a shame that this game didn't do well. And everybody should own this game. It is great. This is where first-person games, first-person shooters should have been thinking going towards the future. Very smart, again, clever gameplay. Rated M for mature. This is who's that? In Space? Who made this game? Yeah, In Space. Good memory there. In Space, a Nintendo first party company. I don't think they have them anymore. But great game, great concept, and super underrated and forgotten. Then we have Wario World. I love Wario World. Often forgotten. Nobody, definitely don't think about this game as much as you think about something like Super Mario Sunshine or something. I believe this game is also getting up there in price. And it's dope. It's a great, it's a beat 'em up, gold collecting extravaganza. Great humor. It's just fun. It's really tight controls. Fun, tight game. It's not very long, but you'll have fun all the way through it, I guarantee you. It's great. And a lot of people just don't remember this game, Wario World. It's not fully 3D. It's kind of 2D-ish. It's kind of like a smaller Super Mario 3D World type of situation for a lot of the levels. But it's great. Spawn Armageddon is easily the best Spawn game you can find, and I love it just for that because I was a huge fan of Spawn. I started watching the animated series on HBO back in the late 90s, and then I started reading the comics after that, and then I just got into the games, obviously, and loved the character. I loved his whole backstory and stuff, and how he came to be. It's just it was a newer, original comic book character that had a cool, backstory and world. So I thought it was really inventive. But some would say it's somewhat of a ripoff in a way. I don't know if they ever got sued by them, but there was this comic book that came out in the late 80s called Faust. And it's very similar in a lot of ways to Spawn. Spawn came out a couple years later, I want to say. And I don't know. Todd McFarlane might have jacked that from Faust. Faust actually even has a movie, like a really low-budget movie that came out for it. But I like Spawn. Dope. And here's a game that sorely needs... And this game, just remaster it. I don't care. Remaster it, put it on Switch right now. I don't think it would be that expensive. And this game is dope. Chibi-Robo. It's it's not some epic adventure. It's just a quirky ass Nintendo game where you play this robot and you're like helping out this Japanese family and you're doing like tasks around the house and you got to plug yourself in before you run out of juice, and it's just a cool quirky game and I love it to death. And we've gotten a DS one. You got like a little kind of offshoot one on was it 3DS? And then you got Zip Lash, which is Zip Trash. It's not a good Chibi-Robo representation. It's okay, but it's very generic. But we need more Chibi-Robo games like this one. Bring that back. All right, now my last stack. Let's move this over here. I'm going to drop something. I know it. On the slide. Don't drop. And by the way, like PSP and Dreamcast and PS1, I will be doing like live collection videos for those because you guys seem to like those. So I'll go through my entire collection live for each one of those systems. So don't fret. This is just me showing off the more forgotten games for these consoles. So, all right, now we're going to start off with property of Blockbuster. And that is Chameleon Twist 2. I think I like 2 better than 1. 1 is shorter. Obviously, this is from Blockbuster Video. I bought this in the bin way back in the early 2000s, probably late 90s, probably early 2000, like maybe 2001. And Blockbuster put these little seals over it because people would pop these bad boys open and take the board out and replace them with something and just play their games that way. But yeah, man, this is a pretty cool puzzle platformer, or not really puzzle platformer, but platformer with some puzzly elements. And the first one, like I said, it was good. Now here's a game that people kind of remember but don't remember. And to me, I could be wrong, but to me, Hitman series would not exist without this game. This game had a troubled development cycle. I think it started on Super Nintendo, kind of like GoldenEye, really. But GoldenEye turned out to be a better game. But this is a really good game too. It's a 3D action adventure game, espionage, Mission Impossible. It's basically Mission Impossible. And you have your really different gameplay mechanics where you can do stealth, and you have missions where you pretend to be other people. You have those like Mission Impossible masks and whatnot, and you become other people. And I feel like whoever made Hitman was really paying attention to this game and took some stuff from this game. Took a lot of stuff actually from this game if you played the early Hitman games. So I always want to give that game credit. Here is a very early Rockstar game. This is back when they were DMA Designs. This was one of those what did Nintendo, the Dream Team Nintendo called them for the N64, and DMA was one of those companies, was part of the Dream Team, and there was a falling out, of course. But that's why we never got GTA on Nintendo, because Rockstar was very upset, or DMA was very upset with how it went down on Nintendo. So, but this is a really cool puzzle, I guess, adventure game, to where you're basically like a microchip, and you're taking over these different, you're in a space station, obviously called Space Station Silicon Valley, and you're I think it's like going off course and it's going to crash with Earth or something, and you're trying to control all these different robotic or automaton creatures to take over the spaceship or the space station and get it back on course. And it's really inventive, really cool stuff. I wish they would make games more like that. They don't really make those type of games anymore. All right, like I said, Top Gear Rally was coming. I played the doo-doo out of this game. Like, I'm surprised the label is in as good a shape as it is. I played the crap out of this game. I went through every mode, and I know the tracks. Like, I know the physics in this game so well, even to this day. That's how much I just played the crap out of this game. And it's one of my favorite early rally games. And it was on the N64, and I played it a lot, like I said. And there's not a whole lot of tracks. What they do is they do different weather elements to the tracks, so it's easy to remember the tracks. You just got to deal with the different physics, with snow and rain and all that stuff. But at the time, these were some of the best graphics I had seen on a video game, and I loved it for that. But it's a real chill. It's weird to say a racing game is chill, but there's something really chill about this game. From the music, sound design is really good. But Top Gear Rally, love this series. Played it on Super Nintendo too. Top Gear series. So, and as Rob of Ruler 2 mentioned earlier, this game here, I just happen to have ready. Beetle Adventure Racing. And again, this, if you saw this in a bin or something somewhere, you'd be like, this is cheap garbage, some licensed crap from EA. I don't care about that. And it's probably still cheap, as far as price goes, if you want to buy it. This is one of the best racing games on the N64, but to me, for throughout racing games, this is really good. And it's, obviously this is when they first launched the new VW Beetles, and Volkswagen made a deal with EA to make a game to promote it, basically, the new VW Beetles, and that should mean a pretty garbage game, but it's not. The controls in this game are perfect. It's arcade style. It's Mario Kart in many ways, because you get these, you get items for like attacking other cars, and because you break these little crates or whatever. Fun, fast, really good graphics, funny. Like the commentary guy is pretty funny, so it's got good humor. This is a really good hidden gem. I don't know if this is only on 64. I guess not, because it doesn't say. But I've never seen this game on anything else, so this is where they buy it. And this will be the best version. I'm sure it's not on Dreamcast, so if you're gonna get it, this is the version to get. Beetle Adventure Racing is great. It is a great game, and everybody should play this, especially if you like racers. You got an N64, man. Come on, why are you playing? Let's see. The concept for the game Geist seems interesting. Says Morpheus. It is really interesting. I highly recommend Geist. And again, that game might be expensive these days. I don't know. I hope not. But it's really good. Mission Impossible. I owned N64 for a very brief amount of time. Someone I knew broke into my apartment and stole it. LOL. That's not funny. Nobody should steal your N64. That sucks. But yeah, it's great. Got that. So Stitched. Got that in a lot with WWF Attitude and Biofreaks for like $20. Very nice. That is a nice pickup for $20. That's great. My favorite racer on N64 was Cruisin' Exotica. Played it all the time with my brother. Yes, I love Cruisin' Exotica. I still have it. It is great. I love the cruising games. Cruising World, Cruising USA. They're great. Here's Command and Conquer. Command and Conquer. This is a really good. I'm sure you guys know what Command and Conquer is, but this was a really good port of this real-time strategy game, and it was surprising. I think it surprised a lot of people at the time, and there were some good ports from PC to N64 back then, because of the 3DFX. I think they both used that software or hardware. I don't know. I'm not too much into that stuff, but there were some really good ports like this, and Daikatana wasn't a great game, but it ported really well to PC or from PC. And there's other strategy games, there's other stuff, Ogre Battle, stuff like that. Descent, is it called Descent? I think that's what it's called. But there, yeah. N64 had the best FPS games on console at the time for sure, and PC games coming to N64 usually worked out really well. Doom and stuff like that. So, all right. I also mentioned this game. Actually, I'm going to pull it out. Let's see if I can. So, I have V-Rally 99, and this is basically V-Rally 2, if I'm not mistaken. And now I have V-Rally 4, and I have V-Rally 3 on OG Xbox. So, love me some V-Rally. Love my V-Rallies. All right. Last few games here. Often forgotten. Really good game. Hybrid Heaven. This game was supposed to be either some kind of spin-off of Metal Gear or something like that, or Metal Gear Solid for N64, but they just kind of changed course mid development and became Hybrid Heaven. This is a turn-based RPG with like wrestling moves. You play this. He's not a cop, I don't think. Or maybe he is. It's weird because you incorporate different characters, so it's kind of hard for me to exactly remember. But it's like an alien, what do you call it? Conspiracy type of game, X-Files type of thing, where the aliens are hiding underground, they're taking people over and pretending to be humans, and really cool story and really fun gameplay, and it gets balls hard the further you get into it, but it's worth it. It's a great game. It ends great, and like I said, really cool game. Started off as Metal Gear and became Hybrid Heaven. And here is the game that started it all when it comes to cover-based shooters. Yep, N64 win back. This was the game. This is the first game that used the cover-based system. Stuff that's popularized in Gears of War and Uncharted series and all that stuff. Everything after it. This was the game that started it all. Winning back on N64. They later ported it to PS2. It was a garbage port. If you're gonna play it, play the N64 version. It plays. Your character moves around, kind of robotic, but the core mechanic of cover-based shooting is solid, and you can see this is where it all started. So, very dope. Command and Conquer. Is that one of those hentai games on Steam? It says Stitched. Yeah, maybe that's a Freudian slip I did there. I don't know. Speaking of racing, says Visor, we need another Rush game. Oh man, I remember playing Rush 2049 in the arcades with 4-player big ass cabinet that you sit in. Oh man, that was great. It was great. Another, speaking of aliens taking people over, I am watching War of the Worlds, the series from the late 80s, early 90s. That show was gruesome for that time. Yeah, that was a really good series. Nobody really talks about that either. But yeah, War of the Worlds, the 80s series was dope. And I used to watch it all the time too. I'm into that stuff. Alright. My last group of games. And it's a small group for Dreamcast. I'm sure you know about these games. Ready to Rumble. Round 2. I have both of them. But I just remember the graphics in this game. First noticing it in the arcades and realizing how good the Dreamcast version is and looked. And I was like, man, this is great. This is really close to the arcade version, and this is a really fun, because I love the Punch-Out series, and to me this was like the next iteration of that. This is definitely aping off of the Punch-Out, all the way down to the stereotypical characters and all that. But there was only these two, I believe, and Midway Midway was having money trouble, so they didn't continue it. But great series and really good on the Dreamcast. Everybody loves Spider-Man. Everybody's into Spider-Man right now, and they love the PS4 Spider-Man game. But for me, it started with this one. Nobody really talks about this Spider-Man game anymore. This, to me, was one of the first really good, just almost pitch perfect comic book games that I remember playing. It was just really good fan service and really good controls, because a lot of comic book games, licensed comic book games, they were either just kind of side-scrolling beat 'em ups, and you didn't really use your powers in the way you would want to as a fan of the characters. You just walk side to side, and you're Superman, and you're walking down the street in a basic Capcom brawler, and that was fun, but you didn't really get to feel like those superheroes, I believe, until this game. This was one of the first games you actually felt like Spider-Man. You got to utilize him the way you thought you would, and your spider senses, his web slinging, just going through levels. Everything was just really good in this game. I actually got the N64 version, but I realized it was they took out all the cutscene stuff, and that's what I'm gonna get this game on Dreamcast. I believe it's a PS1 game as well, so N64, PS1, and Dreamcast. And this is the best version of Spider-Man, the first real, true comic book game, I think. This is the first Spider-Man game. Not the first Spider-Man game, but this Spider-Man game was really good. Alright, so now we have a game that a lot of people don't really talk about as well. This is a launch title for Dreamcast, Toy Commander. It's really cool. You get to play. You're in it's like Toy Soldier. I don't know if you remember that movie, but you get to play basically you're like Toy Story-ish. You don't have the characters of Toy Story, but you get to be in a world that's you're in a big house, and you play using all these different toys to do different objectives and complete different objectives, and have really fun gameplay mechanics based around using different toys, and it's really cool. I always like games where you're in a room, you're in the real world, and you're super small set, and your size is really small, so you get to experience a real world as a tiny character or something, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids type of stuff. And that's why this game was really cool. And this is one of the first games I got on Dreamcast. I got this pretty much day one, at least in the first couple days of me getting the Dreamcast. So, really cool game. Probably forgotten, because this is a launch title that a lot of people probably overlooked, because Dreamcast had a great launch lineup. So, and this is one of the first games I remember being a big open world, at least what it was for that time. Omicron, the Nomad Soul. I love this game, and this is one of my. I didn't know who they were at the time, but if you know the studio behind Indigo Prophecy, Heavy Rain, Detroit Become Human, was it what's that Soul game with what's her name? Ellen Page. I can't remember it's the PS3 game. Came out late. Didn't do well as far as. I don't think it did well in sales or in critical acclaim. But this is Quantic Dream. I believe this is their first game, if I'm not mistaken. Omicron and Nomad Soul is the first game. This is before they got into all the Hollywood movie based stuff. This is a game, and it's like a big open world, like a sci-fi adventure, and love this game. Definitely recommend it. If you're a Dreamcaster, definitely play this game. It's dope. Jamaican Gamer, thanks, man. Thanks for the donation, 15. Happy Ms. T birthday. Hope Wifey T made you something good. She did. Thank you very much for that, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, man. That's very cool of you. Let's see if I missed anything. The hours you spent talking about games, we could have played several within that time. But I also have a YouTube channel that I have to, that I like to make videos for. So this is part of my me time as well. So Visor Grunt, oh god, Omicron. I remember watching the Super Best Friends pull their hair out, LPing that game. Sad their channel is no more. I forgot about them. I didn't know they did that game on there. Omicron. That's cool. Yeah, I love Omicron. It's probably a little harder to play now. I haven't played it in a while, so I don't know if it's easier to go back to at this point, but yep. And that was my last game in the group here. I actually did. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you. I believe it was Stitch that was asking me. I did show you this last time, I believe. But here's Sin and Punishment. This is a. Oh man, stop, Jamaica. Thank you again for the $2 donation, man. Thank you. This is a what do you call it? Repro cart. Stitched if you're still around. Hi, Mrs. T. Happy birthday. Thank you. No, my birthday's not today. It was the 29th. So a few days ago. Oh, my phone, my battery's dying in my watch. But yeah, so here's the repro of Sin and Punishment. Because this is a game to buy. This game never came out in North America, but there is a Japanese version. But even that's expensive. And you can easily import this because this game has English dialogue and English subtitles. So I don't know why this game never came out in the West. I don't think it even came out in the UK or anything. I think it was only in Japan. So obviously this is a repro because it says T for teen, which is the US rating, which the game never came out here. But anyway, if you look at the back, you can see the cart and where it's supposed to say Nintendo. It doesn't have that. But this one actually does have the game bits. It does have game bit screws, but it doesn't have. You can really tell by these because they make the carts to where they would fit any region, and Nintendo never did that. So you have these weird kind of divots on the back, these big wide divots. That's how you know that it's a repro also. And like I said, it doesn't have that stitched number in the back plastic. So everything else almost looks authentic. Now if it had Nintendo in that little area there, that would be more authentic, but it does have game bits, but it doesn't have everything. That's how you got to look for all these different things. So it doesn't, like I said, where it connects the cartridge bottom here is way weird and wide. I'll show you what a regular one looks like. You can compare. See the difference. How weird the divots are in this one than the real one, like that one. And it's missing Nintendo in the back. In that area, that slot. It's missing the word Nintendo. But some of them even have that. But so if it doesn't have all those things together, that lets you know it's a repro and they're trying to get over on you. They should tell you it's a repro, but some people try to cheat you on eBay. What should I say? Morpheus, come on, man. Buy a Nintendo Switch game on me as a belated B-Day gift. Wow. That is awesome of you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. You guys really don't have to do this. But I appreciate that. You guys are the best. And you're going to make me cry, so stop. All right. You probably need several more one-ups on your cake. Yeah, definitely. I'm not going to say how many. I've said it once. I don't want to say it anymore. But yeah, you're welcome, says Morpheus. Thank you again, my man. Thank you, Jamaican, for those donations. Really appreciate that. And that is it. I have nothing else for you guys today. We pretty much went over all the news. You know, I don't want to go over rumors and stuff and such as they're starting to pick back up, because that's what happens when there's not a lot of I can't even speak. When there's not a lot of Nintendo news, the rumors pick up. You know, which is expected. Jamaican. Jamaican, stop. You guys need to stop. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But, thank you. The Blacks. What is that? Caitlin. What's up, Caitlin? Do you know what I hate? What? Nice. My feelings are hurt. Not really. All right. Donating is contagious. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I do it myself to charities as well, so it can be contagious, and you're like, oh man, you want to help, you want to help everybody. You can't, but you want to. Tony says, great video, man. Thank you. I was just going to do a regular news thing, but I was like, it's kind of boring. And I got my computer back to working order, and I was very top tier trolling. Says Stitch. I was very excited about that because when stuff like this doesn't work, it demotivates me, and I want to do more videos, and it encompasses me using my damn computer. So I was so happy to get it to work, and that it wasn't shutting down on me randomly. I'm a little annoyed that my stream was acting up. I don't know why, but you know, sometimes you get those situations on your internet where it just wants to take a nap for whatever reasons for a little while, but it's all good. What am I looking at here? Oh, this is the old chat. I tried to type in there before and I wonder why it didn't work. But yeah, so that's it, guys. I'm glad you joined me. Now I have to go and put all these games away, which kind of sucks. But again, I appreciate you, Jamaican Gamer, for your donations as well as Morpheus. I will see you, Morpheus, tomorrow. I'll hit you up on Twitch. On see, I'm going blank. I'm not old. On Discord, and we'll get in. I'm sure I'll be murked because I haven't played Call of Duty forever. So, but probably won't take me too long to get back in. But yeah, thank you guys for joining. Appreciate you, Morpheus, Stitched, Jamaican. I'm about to say Morpheus again. Tylord. Who else is in here? Visored. Stitched again. Bruce. Tony. I want to call everybody out here. Shout out everybody. Jonathan Reed. Did I read that? Yeah, I did read that from Jonathan. Let's see. I think that's everybody. And whoever else joined in the previous one that maybe didn't get back into this one. Thank you guys. And I need to do a one-off video. I have a couple of ideas in the works, so I'll do that. I have too much to do as far as getting my other YouTube channels going, my movie one and my Nintendo Pro Nintendo Focus channel. So I'll be doing that very soon. Hopefully this week I can get at least one of them up. The movie channel I think will be this week for sure. But Nintendium will have to wait. And I gotta buy a couple of things before I get that channel going. So there you have it, guys. Thank you again for watching and listening. And I'll see you on the next video. And I'm going to awkwardly get out of here. Peace. No, you need two for peace. Peace.